Hey all, we are going to learn how to add a line break within a row in Tableau using a single dimension, or we are also going to learn how to make rounded alphabets when we are dealing with a hierarchical data, when we want to display the segregation of sales within a dimension using special characters. So let's start with an example.
Category plus subcategory. So to add both the dimensions, we can straight away write category plus subcategory. And let me click on apply. So if I'm bringing this into the view, so this is the output which I'm going to get. So let me give some space between both. So what we have done is for each subcategory, we have added the respective category here in a single line. It looks as if it is in a single line as we have concatenated both the fields. If the requirement is to get category first and subcategory in the next line of the same row, here as we are showing, then we can use a break function, which is one trick is to do like this. You can give double quotes, and inside the double quotes, if you press enter, you will get a second column within the same row. So it appears as if you have a second column here, second row here in the first row itself. Let me show it again. And so if you want to break a line, we can concatenate it first, and inside the concatenation of the space, we can click on shift enter or direct enter and click on apply to get a separate line here. The reason being is we can sometimes display values or sales values also along with this in a single row. Let's take that example, and instead of this we have let me comment this, and we also have a direct function for the same. Instead of directly pushing this, sometimes we can use either char 10 or char 13. Sometimes this works with char 10. Yeah, let me click on this. So for us, char 10 is working now. Even that char 10, char of 10 will also create a break of line in an existing concatenation. So yeah, and let me remove this and let me bring category here. Sales. Or else let me bring like this. Sales, profit, and let's take example of this sales and profit only. So here we are able to get the category wise profit and sales. If our requirement is to get the sales on the top and profit just below to it, along with the remarks, let's say we have to create a calculation using the same break function which I have mentioned. So here to get sales on the top, sales plus profit. So I am doing sum of sales. So as I cannot concatenate two integer fields, so I'm going to convert this into string value. And again, we are going to concatenate this with string of profit, sum of profit. So let me click on apply. So if I'm using this, okay, let me bring this here. And expand this value so that it is visible. So now we got a sales value and a profit value in a continuation. But if I want to show them in a separate line, we have to do this and increase the size of this line so that I can be able to view both sales and profit value one below the other. And here, sometimes when we are dealing with two different measures, we need to denote them, right, on the top of them. So this was a real-time case wherein we had a requirement. I need to display the value of sales on the extreme right top so that it is understood that it is a sales value. So for that purpose, we are going to the second calculation in strings, which is we have to know two functions, which is Ascii code and char. So yeah, ASCII is a Ascii. So this is a function which converts a string value into a numeric value, which is a Ascii code of that string value. So let's take single quotes and capital A. And if I'm clicking on apply, and let's take the new sheet. So if I'm bringing this into the text, okay, let's bring here, make this dimension and discrete. So a capital letter ASCII value is 65. So it's the same way, if I want to get the ASCII code, we have another function wherein if we have the ASCII code and if you want to get the alphabet, we can use char function here. So this is a char function wherein we can input an integer output. So for the same char, I'm using char of 65 and applying on this. So this is a char function which is going to display the string value of the ASCII code which we have got. Or else we can have the char of like this 110 and still get the alphabets in the existing calculations, or we can use them dynamically using the char function. So here in real-time cases, by combining both breaking of a line and using this ASCII code or char functions, we can straight away embed something into our calculations like this, wherein I want to identify this calculation. So for that purpose, let me go to sales here, sales plus profit. And here, let me round this sales so that we'll not be able to visit, like see all the calculation. Sales, comma, 0, base. comma 0. Okay, this is, yeah, we have to get the braces outside. And clicking on apply. So now we got same value as the right side ones. So here my requirement was to get the sales value on top of it. So here, so what we are going to do is we are going to adjust this ASCII code. So I want the profit value or the sales value here. So I'm saying always it's the sales value, right? So I'm saying, so first I need ASCII code. So for that purpose, let's go on to the next sheet. And here in char function, let's get my ASCII code here, or I can straight away type the p value also. But let me get the sales value char of, so ASCII ACII of S here, and click on apply. And let me bring this ASCII of S. And let me convert this into dimension and discrete. So my sales ASCII code is 83. And likewise, let me bring the profit also. So my ASCII code of P, dimension and discrete. So 83 and 80. So here in my calculations, I'm going to use sales plus profit, wherein I'm going to, as my value is static, now we are taking straight away as direct numbers, but we can dynamically take the numbers also. We'll also see that example. So in this case, first we are writing, so char function. For sales, we have 83. Plus, and inside double quotes, we are again breaking the line. And let me apply on this. So if I'm clicking on this, now I am able to get the S here. So here we are going to the next function, which is space function. We can straight away add some space using a space function. So let me use the space function. So I'm taking space of 15. So it will give 15 spaces and clicking on apply. So it is looking as if we have superscribed the S value on top of the sales. And the second one is to get the profit, right? So here, again, here I am going to use plus here and click and enter here. So here I am going to use space of 15 again to get the space in the second line. And after that, I am going to use char function of 80 plus double quotes plus, and we are going to enter this again. Okay, we have 2 plus here. So let's click on this. So now we have got sales value superscribed for the sales value and profit value superscribed with the profit mark here. So this is for the string value. Generally, these type of scenarios, generally we will be using whenever we have division of budget. or something in the finance domain, and we want to denote the and superscribe this sales value or measure value like this, then we need to use all these functions. And sometimes we can also we need to combine this category and sales values also in real-time cases to superscribe these values. And sometimes the requirement will be superscribe sales value using a round option, like where we have we can have special characters also here. If we want a rounded S here, sometimes we can copy them straight away and we can replace like this. And if I'm clicking, okay, I have to place this inside single quotes or double quotes. So like this, I'll be able to get the rounded essence. So like this, we can use space function, line break function, as well as Char and Ascii to get the values in Tableau, and we can automate them, or we can straight away use them in these visualizations. So sometimes we cannot say whether the furniture or it is being divided between subcategory like that. So for that purpose, we can use these type of calculations and still get the outputs. So this is a real-time case wherein I have used in a budget division, wherein there was a total budget of some amount, and each of them is was divided into either technology or office spaces. So it was a division where the requirement was to display first total, and immediately they want to have the division of that total into the different subcategories, which are not more than 2 or 3 lines. Like this, we had in this example, we had 2, sales and profit, right? So there we had around 2 or 3 lines for each project, and the budget allocation, whether it was a technology or it was a office space or non-commercial. So like this, based on for each type of category which we are looking here, we had the same project type, and we need to display the total allocation and the rest of the division of that total allocation among each department. So that was the real-time case requirement for this scenario. The next function which we have is the find and findnth functions. So let's take customer name into the view. So yeah, these are the different functions where we have some of the real-time cases wherein if the customer needs something inside the customer name, or if the customer if they want to identify how many number of alphabets are getting repeated, so this is the best function where we can use. So we can use find here, and the string inside that, find of string, comma substring. So if I'm using this, and clicking on apply, it's a dimension, right? So we need to convert that into dimension first, and click on this. So this is giving me output of the first occurrence by default of a value in the integer output. So currently, yeah. So for each customer name, it has given me the occurrence of first a value, and the counting of number a starts with 1. Whenever we are using find or findnth, it starts with 1. So we don't have zeros when we are finding something or the position of the alphabet using find or findnth. So here in the find, we have start of the alphabet, wherein if I'm using number 2 here, let's say I've used number 2, it is going to ignore the 2 positions, first 2 positions, and get me the next occurrence of the string in the value. So in my first position and second position, it has ignored first A, and in the second position, I straight away got the A value here. So that's why I am able to get the integer output here. And here we have the second position of A in the third count. So like this, we can use find here. Let's say I'm using 5 and click on apply. So it will remove first 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and on the 5 it will check whether we have A. Otherwise it will go to the next value where the A is available. So like this, we can find the position of a character inside a string value and get the position of the value using find function. So same way we have find nth function here. There is very minute difference between find and find nth. So for that purpose, let's take same examples and clicking on find nth here. So find nth will have also the same customer name and the alphabet which we want to find the occurrence and the position. So in find we have position. Here nth will have the occurrence. That is the only difference. So for say if I want the second occurrence here and if I'm clicking on apply, I'm going to get the second occurrence of the alphabet mentioned here. And in find function, we are going to ignore the value mentioned here, like all the from 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 until fourth alphabet, which is starting from left, will be left, and the fifth one is going to be checked whether it is containing A, which is start of it. And here in the find nth, we are going to get the repetition on which this alphabet has been repeated. So here when we are moving here, we have the second occurrence of alphabet in the third position. And if I am taking the same again and moving to the third and clicking on apply, I am going to get the third position of the occurrence of the substring. So my first second completed here and it straight away went to the 12th position. And if I am commenting this and taking the same example for find and getting this 3 here, let me convert this into dimension again and discrete. So now it has ignored all the values for the first 2 and third it did not find A, so it got until 12. So here let me check with this difference for the find and find nth. So this is the difference between find and find nth, wherein we have third occurrence. So 1, 2, 3 it has left this, and in the third it was able to find the A here, so that's why it has given the third value here. But whereas here in the find nth we had third occurrence in the 10th position of that substring. So that is how we will be using find and find nth to extract the values actually. So to extract the values and to identify or read the values, generally this type of real-time examples are used whenever we want to get a customer name whose names we want length of the customer name without getting the repetition of the alphabets. Then it is a real-time case which I have used in, but for now you can use this find and find nth to get the position of the repetitions of any particular alphabet in Tableau. So yeah, we also have very rarely used two functions, which is Ltrim and Rtrim. Generally, I never use this function, but let's just dig them up. So Ltrim will trim all the spaces before the customer name if we have anything. And if we are using Rtrim, it is going to remove the spaces available to the right side of the customer name if at all we have anything. So this Ltrim or Rtrim are used for cleaning the data if we have any extra spaces before and after the any string value. So that is the purpose of Ltrim and Rtrim in Tableau. We also have some of the arithmetic calculations. Let me. Okay, so we have these arithmetic calculations or mathematical calculations which are available for us. So we already know addition. Generally, this addition works with integer values and string values in Tableau. Whenever we are using this symbol between integers, it will add the values. And whenever we are using between the string values or string values, it will concatenate both the fields. And subtraction generally is available only for the integer values and date fields. So plus it can be used for integer values, string values, and also with date data types. So multiplication is available for integer values only. Division, we already know that, and we are going to discuss this one, which is very much important, which is modulo function. Sometimes whenever we are dealing with string type of data and we need to analyze something, we need to know about that. So let's take the example of modulo function. So this is the symbol of modulo function. It is going to get us a remainder of the output. So let me calculate the length of the customer name first. So I'm going to apply this and convert this into dimension. And bring this into the view, and let me remove these already existing ones. Okay. Okay. So we have now length of total customer name for each customer, including the space value. And let me check with the modulo function. And here, if my requirement is to get the customer names who has a total length of even or odd, and I want to divide them between them, then we can use the modulo function here. Using this modulo, I want to get the customer names whose names length has even number. And if I am doing equal to 0, first let us divide this. So let's use modulo and then check what is happening here and convert this into dimension and discrete. So I got the remainder here first. So using this modulo function, I have this modulus of 2 and I got the remainder here. So as I want even only, so my even will get 0 only output when I am using modulus of 2. So if I am using the same modulo and using this in filters, I am going to get all the values. Okay. Applying this, and then we'll bring this here. So I'm going to get all the values which have even number of length in the customer name. So this is how we'll be using modulo function and our real-time requirements will be without counting the space. So you need to remove the space whenever we are dealing with that. So let's look at the example of that calculation also, as we have some of the scenarios in our practice sessions. So first we need to identify the space, right? So to identify the space, we have find function, right? So first identifying the space, and I'm going to say find of customer name. It's best to use Findnth. So I'm going to take find of customer name, and my substring is space here, and my occurrence, first I'm checking for first occurrence. So here, let me bring this value here. So our output, expected output is, I need to get the length of the customer names without including the space first. So that is the first requirement. So I'm converting this into dimension and discrete. So I have space on the sixth value here. So here what I'm writing is Findnth. If my Findnth, let's say I have second occurrence of this, and if I'm applying on this second position and dimension, convert this into dimension and discrete. So I'm going to get the 0. That means if I don't have any middle name, I will not get the second value here. So when I'm going through all my data, all the data did not have middle name here. So I understood that I only have one spaces here. So for that, I'm saying I'm using an if condition. If find length of customer and having space in the first time, and I'm asking to check whether it is greater than 1 or it's greater than 0, it is sure that I have something is a space here. Then I am going to allocate one value to it and end it. So like this, I can end it. Or so here we don't want the space in the length, right? So that's why I am going to do this and click on apply. So when I'm doing apply, so here my requirement was to remove the space here. So here length of customer name minus this calculation, which will remove one space here, and clicking on apply on this. So length without space. And let me convert this into dimension. So now I got the customer name without any spaces. That's all for this day on string functions and arithmetic operations in Tableau. I've also attached rounded characters of lowercase and uppercase in the below attachment to this video. Please go through it and let me know if you have any doubts on Tableau in the comment section below. Until next video, happy visualizing. Thank you.